second guessing was stressing. Been on a roll with training camp, so I figured I would keep it going. Kind of like to tap in with you guys daily with updates and keep everybody informed, whether it be from various reports coming out of camp, also just playing clips of various press conferences and other appearances from players, just to kind of get it all down for people to consume in one long take. So Spotify's been really taken off lately, which is kind of cool to see. So if you haven't, subscribe on Spotify and Apple, and please leave a 5-star review, as well as all platforms. Texans commenter, Houston Stressins on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Website, HoustonStressins.com. Got a free newsletter. Been stalling lately because I've been doing so much of all the other forms of content, but looking to streamline that soon and make it into an app, and then be able to get more, maybe like of the generic news articles out, hopefully more in-depth articles. I just got to find a way to streamline it all, but yeah, be on the lookout for that. But obviously subscribe to the newsletter. I got a store there as well with great merch. But yeah, so tomorrow is a joint practice with the Texans and the Raiders. I will be there. Can't wait to watch and observe and give you guys my insight as well. And then obviously they play on Thursday. We've talked about the Chargers game, which a lot of reserves played, and there was some good things to highlight for some of the young rookies. And I'm still grinding through the all 22. I've been posting a bunch of clips on my Twitter. If you want to see, just go to my timeline. There's a whole bunch with my analysis. I need to find a better way to do that too, whether it's just watch it through and then go back and share clips or make a video on here. That's probably the best way to do it, is just do one long form video on here, rather than just sitting there and fragmenting it out. But I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, so we kind of touched on most of my thoughts from the game. Nothing really changed aside from when we talked last time by diving into the tape further. Obviously still haven't gotten all the way through, but I think a big thing was they bit a lot on play action. One observation I realized too was Mike McDaniel was scheming up some pretty gnarly stuff. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it affected our young rookie linebackers, or guys with not a lot of experience that are reserve guys that haven't got a lot of reps in practice. So they were biting on play action a lot, which some of that is just probably being young and anxious and trying to make a play, but there's also probably a good amount of that was just some of the designs were crazy, dude. Like the motions, where you'd have a Rondé Gatson motion in and then motion to like the wing spot, and then after the snap go right by, like he could get a handoff and then slip back out this way, or motion him out wide and then do like a crazy boot where he's stalling like he's blocking and then going out. Like there was some pretty good stuff on there, and just like a quarter and a half, 2 quarters. And I think I mentioned here too, I think they played a lot more of their second. I think they like played guys better than our guys most of the game. But anyhow, nonetheless, I think we're pretty much done there. We'll go through the last couple of practices to get us caught up for this training camp scrimmage, joint practice with the Raiders. But I was surprised. So they had the game Thursday. They were off Friday. There was a very physical practice, like full on practice on Saturday. And then I want to say also on Sunday. And then today's Monday, and Monday was a walkthrough, and tomorrow's a joint practice. So that's, a lot of the ones didn't, obviously pretty much none besides the starting O-line for only like a series played in the game Thursday. So Saturday was like pretty, intense, and Sunday, and then you get a day off. And then now you're about to have, I just did the shocker. That's hilarious, dude. So you had 2 right here and 1 right here. That's hilarious. Man, that's so funny. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, I've like realized like, man, this is like an intense week, bro. Like 2 hard practices, day off, a joint practice, day off, game. So that's 4 like tough game like atmospheres. And so I'm kind of concerned, but I did have an interview today with Mark Vandermeer. We had planned it, but I wasn't sure about going live or not, so I didn't say anything. So it was random middle of the day, like 2 p.m., I think. So check that out on my YouTube. Obviously, also on this video, like and comment. I don't know if you can hype. I think you can hype after the video has gone live. Is Keenan Allen going to the Colts? I knew he would go to the Colts. Dang it. There goes my dreams. Oh, no. Oh man. All right. Let me do a quote tweet. Everyone's gonna give me crap for it. Let's see. I can stop pushing my agenda now. Pushing my agenda now. Let's see. That's hilarious. What is the timing? Fit makes sense. All right. Anyhow, so let's go in the chat. Dot says, "What's up, brother?" Larry Payton says, "Swarm." Dot says, "Getting concerned with our wide receiver room now. Tank and Noel being potentially on IR is not ideal. Feel like the injury bug will hit us this year." Yeah, we'll see. Grafa, hello, blessings. What's going on? Bob loves meatballs. Great name. Will starters play next game? D'Amico said that anybody who's healthy will play. So I suspect at least a quarter, if not two. Which again, that they're playing all these joint practice. So I hope they don't overdo them. LOL says Keenan Allen to the Colts. Yep. So that's what I just said. They signed him to $8 million deal, 1 year, $8 million deal. But yeah, so anyhow, let me see if there's any comments on TikTok. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place today. The Keenan Allen news put me in a tizzy for sure. I didn't think that we were going to get him. I mean, to me, it wasn't a necessity. It was something that would have been nice. Shout out Brandon Miho on TikTok. Keep up the videos, content. Appreciate it. Big Ben, Keenan is way old. Yeah, he's old, but I wanted him as just like a specialist role. Like my idea was like he would come in and be like, a situational guy. Barson says shocker or my girl's favorite move. Well, probably both. Braden, how's Tank been? Supposedly looking better. Cage says H Town. But yeah, so anyhow, yeah, I liked him like as a situational role. Like it wasn't like a necessity for us. Like it would have been nice to, and I said it depends too on Jalen Noel if he can learn the underneath slot stuff. Maybe Tank when he comes back, if and when, maybe he plays some more slot stuff. Obviously, Hutch is our starting slot right now, which he's like a bigger slot. But I wanted like a savvy contested catch under or savvy over the middle guy. Lewis Bond could be that guy. So is what it is. I mean, I still like the room as is. Jared Wayne's been showing out. He has a chance to make the roster. Shout out Calhoun or Cal Saloon, I believe is how it's pronounced on YouTube. Montego 37. Are we swarming tonight? We are always swarming, my guy. Mr. Optimistic, my guy. What's going on? LOL says, I know you wanted him on the team. That's all good. I mean, that was like my first, like when the offseason first started, but like as you draft Lewis Bond, as this happens, it's all good. Like, it'll be good. Mr. Optimistic says, you going to practice tomorrow? Yes, I will be there. KD says, got any more Texans joint practice tickets? I do not. Dot with Allen signed. Who else could we get? SMH. I really haven't looked past like the only two that I was considering. I know Hopkins, but he's not retired officially, but he's coaching. But yeah, Larry says Tank and Noel injuries open roster spot for Lewis Bond. And then Montego, where do you see Hutchinson in this offense? He's our starting slot, so he's versatile. But I mean, Hutch continues to improve, man. Like I said, I keep wanting to write him off, but he had a good presser today, which we can go over some of his clips. Ethan Yanez, you think CJ is going to ball? I do think he's going to ball. And he has been balling at practice, which is what we will talk about. Let's see. TikTok, we got any comments on here? And nope. All right. So I may not go as long today. I don't want to, because normally I'll go on here for like an hour, 2 hours. And then it's like, this is like worse than staring at your phone. Because I'm like staring at this computer screen. Then I go lay in bed. Then I go stare at my phone. And so like I can't go to bed for a while afterwards. And even when I do go to sleep, it's like a weird like phone sleep where I'm just like thinking about the Texans. I got a problem, but I don't want to go late tonight so I can get up early and go to practice. So, you got to reward yourself or have a little a dangling carrot sometimes to motivate you to be concise. The flight man, Xavier Hutchinson breakout year. I don't know about breakout, but I mean, solid productive year. I didn't get to posting all of the clips that I wanted to on him. So maybe I'll have to go back to his presser, but let's let's get into. Let me just start with the timeline here and start working our way through and check it out here. Let's see, share. But yeah, the Colts receiver room is banged up. So I mean, I think Josh Downs may be hurt, Alec Pierce may be hurt. So, but that made sense. They needed the depth. Here's D'Amico Ryans, and so it was funny. You know, I didn't have access to this Sirius XM radio D'Amico Ryans interview, and then shout out who's my guy that gave it to me over on Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm lapsing right now. Please don't get mad at me. But let me see. Let me make sure I give the proper credit here. But I mentioned on the last show, and then somebody on X, my friend T, Asleep T, my friend T, sent me a couple versions. But anyways, there was a lot of great clips, and I still haven't posted them all from D'Amico on SiriusXM. But it's kind of funny how on certain podcasts or stations he's more forthcoming. But the first one being right here, Jalen Noel. We're talking about it. You know, no one knew about a hamstring injury. We all knew about the NFI finger injury from a jugs machine. But this one, I don't know if he let it slip or what, or this happened after the finger. I don't know. It's bizarre, but the cat's out of the bag. There's a hamstring injury.
Jalen is doing fine. I mean, he's battling hamstring injury right now, so we'll get him back in a couple weeks. But he's had a really good offseason, just a little minor setback. He'll be fine, ready to go.
So, you know, and then like previously talked about him like on the August 7th, and you know, and this could be nitpicking, dissecting, but he didn't sound too optimistic about him. He's like, we'll try to find a role for him, and talked about punt return. So it's like, man, like especially now if Keenan Allen's gone and you're not going to go get another guy to be like another depth slot. I mean, the guy's talented. Like, you know, hopefully he gets healthy. Hopefully this isn't like a major hamstring strain. It didn't sound like it. They made it sound like it was minor. What he just said there. He said minor setback. He'll be fine, ready to go. Okay, so hope he's still getting mental reps in the supposed, you know, tough to know offense. But again, here's D'Amico on SiriusXM about David Montgomery. He's pretty forthright about David Montgomery.
Yeah, different for us. I see David as a number one back, and that's what's I think changed for him throughout his entire career. He's of course shared that load in the backfield, but there's always been another guy who's kind of ahead of him getting those lead reps. I see him as a leader. I see him as a passionate guy who brings fire to the game, brings that fire that we need. He's a really good runner. He's always been a productive runner. Anytime he touches the ball, strong, runs low, runs behind his pass. So having him with Woody Marks, our young player, second-year player who's done a great job this camp as well, just having that tandem of backs, I think you need it this year. And we saw the success that the Lions had, with Gibbs and with Demo. So having him here, hopefully we get some of the same results that they were able to show.
You will.
That would be nice to have. So, but yeah, he's pretty declarative, and that seems like somebody he wanted, perfect fit, and definitely going to carve out a role for him. So, but yeah, let me get to some comments. Heist, nah, bro, you can't break tradition. You have to stay on. Facts, yeah, stay on for at least 2 hours. Cal Saloon, Hutch is a future Houston sportscaster. I don't know if that means like he's talented, or you're saying like he has the ability to do it, or you're saying that he's not good. But I think he'll stick around for a while. Mr. Optimistic, does your wife like the Texans? She does, but she is a Cowboys fan. So yeah, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Grafa, bro, the great Wade Phillips, like my post. Nice. You are definitely swarming. Yeah, I saw him out in public a couple weeks ago. Great guy. Humble Beast, you sent the DM. Okay, I'll message you here. Just know you're good to go. I'll get you the. So I offered up tickets. Humble Beast was the first one to respond. When I'm done with the live, I'll send them. So just know you're going. And let me check to see if you confirmed. Okay, yep, I'll get you the 2 tickets. So, and I'll do it here when we're done, so you can go ahead and make plans going forward. If I come across any other tickets, I'll share on Twitter. But time's ticking down, so. I made a post on Twitter. If anybody here has extra tickets and you want to give them to a loyal fan, find my recent post and just drop it in there. Let's see. The Realist, Born Gaming. Do you think Tremont Smith gives Lewis Bond his college number 11? I mean, if they both make the roster, that would be hard to see. If Tremont Smith doesn't make the roster, then that means he could get it. Senor Larry, get some rest so you can be available at practice tomorrow and get us a scoop. Best abilities, availability. Facts. That's right, Larry. Good advice. I appreciate that. Gabriel Silva, what's up, brother? How you feeling? I'm feeling great, man. I feel great. A little refreshed this week. Can't wait for week one. Yep, yes, sir. Derek Stout on Facebook. What do you think about our wide receiver depth? It's a little iffy at the moment because the knoll, the finger, the hamstring. I just realized hopefully they don't dock me for playing the all 22. But yeah, look at my timeline. Like I'm a psycho and post like pretty much the entire pretty much the entire deal on there. But yeah, so let me just pause it right there. Okay. But yeah, I mean it's still good. So you have the potential hypothetically that Noel could start on pup or IR or whatever. It sounds like he'll be fine. Potential with Tank, which again, I'll play a clip from SiriusXM where D'Amico said one thing today, how he's on his own schedule when he's asked about playing today. My guess is like hopefully maybe he gets some joint practice reps today. Maybe too soon for that. But he basically said like in this Sirius XM where he's more forthcoming for whatever reason, says like hopefully we're trying to see him in a preseason game. And my logic is okay, there's only 3 games. We played one. He didn't play in that. There's 2 left. This one's kind of quick. He hasn't really played much in team reps, so that would be kind of a lot to drastically just ramp him up that quick. So maybe there's still ramp up here, and then maybe you play him in the third one, even though then in the third one it's going to be a lot of backup. So it's like that part of it's kind of weird. So like, I was on here the other day and I was like, there's a 0% chance he plays in this game. I guess I sound, egg on my face after hearing what I heard D'Amico say on XM radio. Maybe it's more of like a 30% chance. I guess we'll see this week if he gets ramped up. I guess we'll see tomorrow, honestly. But that would be tough because he's played team reps like a handful, but there hasn't really been full contact. So it'd be tough to kind of go, who knows? But so potentially the third game, and then you have another joint practice, which you can get some reps in. Mr. Optimistic says time for a divorce, JK. Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, but she's awesome, dude. Like the reason why I'm able to do so much with this stuff is because she is a rock star and puts up with it and does a lot. Dino, thoughts on rival uniforms so far? I don't know what they are. I've seen a lot of mocks, but definitely seems like to me the best one. I think I think his name is Ace on Twitter. I think the best one is if it's like the less is more white with the H-Town blue, maybe a little red, real simple. I don't want the checkered stuff. I've seen some checkered. Like I get it's the tile, but like I don't mind if it's subtle. Someone said it might be like on the pant legs. Maybe I could maybe live with that. But like an all white jersey with a white helmet and real simple like and just use the color and don't have too much going on would be dope. And you see someone with like the Space City stuff, like kind of cool, but kind of much. They're all concepts, so I don't know. But to me, just the simple all white, H-Town blue would be clean. A Leaf says you went to the joint practice. It's tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. Rob, I'm a loyal fan. Give them to me. I'm out right now, but leave a comment on there. Brandon, joint practice tomorrow. Grafa, other than the primary starter alignment, who do you keep an eye on the O-line tomorrow? Joint practice blessings. Definitely you would watch the backups. Like obviously the battle between Evan Brown, Jake Andrews, and Jarrett Patterson. I thought Evan Brown looked really good from what I've seen on film. And I haven't even got to Jake Andrews yet, but he only played 9 snaps. But A-Leaf, Lewis Bond, please be him. Hey, no pressure, right? I mean, Lewis Bond is basically our backup slot right now. Javier, Keenan Allen's a Colt. Yep, I'm sick. I'm stressing. El Heis, Marlon Klein looks good. Could he be the tight end we've been looking for? I think he can. And like, I think that like he was going to be a great tight end, and it may have taken a little bit of time this year. Is like if it took him a while to get involved in the offense, but he seems to be ahead of schedule. And D'Amico Ryan said that like other day on him, like this is just the start. Like he's like, yeah, like I'll see you now. Like, and I trust D'Amico's evaluation. He doesn't blow smoke. Like when he gives a player praise, it's not like optimistic. I hope this guy is good. Like like when he says it, like he knows it. And then A-Leaf says, I don't think Tank plays week 1. Yeah, I mean, he could not. Stressen's chat. Let's go Space Age. Brandon says, think they should add 2 or 3 more slots on those IR designations per year. Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, the more just think about the NFL at large. Like, yes, there's a lot of spots, but like, I guess it's different too than baseball and basketball as far as obviously you have more players. But I guess my point is I kind of contradicted it, but like my point's going to be that there are a ton of people that play college football, and then now you go to the NFL, and it's like none. It's like less than 1% or whatever it is make it. Um, but my point is like a lot of people that don't make the team, that don't make practice squad, are still very, 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 very good. And it's like how many of those guys can one catch a break, two stick with it long enough, and so like the more opportunities you would kind of allow teams to stash guys would give people more chances to live out their dreams. So I would be all for that in that sense. Larry Payton, Evan Brown looked good to me as well. Yeah, at center and guard, dude, he was solid. He looked even really good at guard, honestly. I mean, good at center, but even better at guard. Graffa, how many scuffle fights will Keelan Rutledge have tomorrow? Yeah, so that's the big talk. You know, obviously Max Crosby, Raider. He's a guy that goes through the whistle, very passionate, aggressive. You know, my understanding from the scuffles so far, I don't know because I'm not there, but it sounds like they're from Keelan going to the whistle and being annoying and not necessarily being dirty. And maybe it's just something that we're not used to and it's annoying after a while. So hopefully it's not Trevor Penning type stuff where he's like doing dirty stuff, which I don't think he's ever been known as a dirty player. And so with that being said, one, you don't want to scuffle. Two, if there is one, you want it, if Keelan's involved, you want it from him going to the whistle type stuff as opposed to like doing dirty, unnecessary stuff, which I don't think he will do. But well, yeah, it could get chippy out there, but D'Amico doesn't play. Like I think they do a pretty good job of setting the tone. And yeah, you don't want it to ruin practice. They'll probably stop practice if anything crazy breaks out. Dino, do you think the Texans will trade for someone for the trade deadline? I don't really know who or what we would need. That's a good question, but I don't know. Jameel Tank is playing week 1. I guess that question too is it could be, you know, dynamic in the sense that injuries happen. Brian says, Hutch the gatekeeper. That's awesome. Tell about KM. James Murphy, how's Blankenship compared to Bullock playing? I mean, I don't know really personally. Craigo joint practice tomorrow. I mean, they're different positions. Bullock is a free safety, and in simple terms, Reed Blankenship is a strong safety. So they're different skill sets. But, you know, it seems like from the flashes from practice that Reed's playing well, and obviously Kalen's balling out too. And then Jason, we do not sell purses. I hustle to eat. Can we beat the Bills? Absolutely, we can. And yeah, so let's see here. Isaiah Myers. Oh, he's dirty. All right, Mr. Dirt Roy. Do you dirty? Boys in the dirt. Put them in the dirt. A-Leaf SWAT. F it out. F it all out brawl tomorrow. Yeah. Space Age. Rumor has it Colts interested in Keenan Allen. They need more than we do. They signed him just now. Guts Horror Show. What's going on, bro? He said, what's up with Noel? Allen just went to the Colts. Yeah, so D'Amico made it sound like it's minor. But yeah, we'll get into I'll go through the timeline to go through the last practices. August 16th was yesterday. So I guess let me go to my timeline, but my reposts. Hold on here. Profile. And I don't know if we talked about, I guess we did talk. I've been doing so much. Everything's a blur. I don't know if I talked about when I talked with Big Sarge, was that after the Chargers game or before? I can't remember. There we go. Here's some good stuff. I got to go to my repost so that way I can kind of see all the beat reporters. We got a bunch of great beat reporters that do a great job. So let me get down low enough just to make sure. I think we're at a pretty good. Here is Keelan Rutledge via Big Sarge on Marlon Klein.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a dog. He showed it since he got here. Saw him catch it deep. I wanted to sprint the ball, dap him up and stuff like that. So it was cool.
Everybody's a dog in the Texans. How so-and-so? Dog, dog, dog. Bunch of dogs. Okay, this is a good spot here for us to kind of start perusing forward to get us caught up. Obviously, we talked about it the other day. We signed Brett Rippin, like Rippin' Ass is how you pronounce it. That's how I remember it. I thought it was Ripien, but it's not. It's Rippin or Rippin' the ball. DJ Bieneme. So I'm just going to kind of this may be redundant, and then we'll go through Harris Hitz, who is the Mecca, the gold for me. Great football mind. I know he's positive, but I think he just omits the negative more than anything. But I think it's good to look at. And he's a great football man. Love his work. But DJ Bieneme, shout out DJ Bieneme with ESPN. This was on August 15th, so we're talking about Saturday. Texans quarterback Stroud has connected with Hutchinson on multiple explosives today. Just caught a deep pass in between Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock window. And then on the same day, Jonathan M. Alexander does a great job with the Houston Chronicle. Here are his notes from Saturday. He's got it all laid out for us. And then again, we'll get to the Harris hits. It'll probably be the same repetitive stuff, but hey, that's what it is. Series 1, David Montgomery 2-yard run. Play 2, Stroud to Dalton Schultz. Play 3, Woody Marks 5-yard run. Nice. Play 4, Daniil Hunter sack. Series 2, Stroud to Jaden Higgins for 4 yards. Play 2, Montgomery run for 3 yards. Play 3, Woody Marks 2-yard run. Play 4, CJ Stroud to Hutchinson for 35 yards. Let's get it. Series 3, Stroud to Collins 3 yards. Play 2, Stroud to Hutch 25 yards. Play 3, incomplete to Hutch. Play 4, incomplete to Marlon Klein. Series 4, Stroud to Marks -2 to O stop. Play 2, Derek Stingley INT deep pass, which supposedly it sounded like it was one of his patented trail technique over the shoulder ones. Just visualizing some of the comments I heard. I don't know exactly. Play 3, David Montgomery 2-yard loss. So some good, some bad there for the Texans on Saturday offense. Again, if you can get a decent amount of wins against that defense is insane to do. But yeah, Tank Dell, here's a clip from Aaron Wilson. Shout out Aaron Wilson. This is him just running routes on air, I believe, Saturday. Or maybe this was Sunday, but I mean, he's looking explosive, bro. Like, if we get him back soon, I mean, look out. Nice little break on a whip route there. Then here's a throw. This looks like a no-look throw. It's posted by the Texans social media. Let me see. Let me zoom it in and cross his body. I think it's one of the ones that was to Hutch, maybe the 35-yarder. It looks like a crossing route. I think you can see it on there. Okay, whatever. But yeah, and then Big Sarge with Tommy Togiai. Good competitiveness, funny in the D-line room. Okay. Pregnon with the Jaguars seemed like he had a decent game. They also had their starting guard, which maybe getting replaced by Pregnon. Makari have back surgery and potentially out for the year. And it's going back through some of the reposts. There were one-on-ones. Here was a rep posted by DJ Bieneme. This is going to be Jaden Higgins on Jalen Smith. One-on-one red zone. And let's just do some over-analysis here. He does like a stutter release, slowing down. And so what a lot of receivers do, like, it's all about leverage. Like, I don't know what he's running here. I think he's running. He wants to run. That's not by design. He wants to run like a dig or like a crosser on the back of the end zone. So he wants to go inside. And guess what? This man has inside leverage. So, like, if I want to run a route inside of his leverage, I got to be careful with my words here in case people take them wrong. So I'm very particular about saying things, in a good way. Anyway, so you want to take away his leverage because you want to go in. If you were running outside, you would just run straight at him, attack this hip here, and now you have leverage, and then you could break out. But he's inside, so what a lot of receivers do is rather than just run off the ball real quick, they kind of do like this little slow hezzy, and they try to like lull you to sleep, and they try to like sneakily. This is like the Devontae Adams thing where they kind of like sneakily take away your leverage is what they try to do. But Jalen Smith doesn't fall for it. And then one-on-ones, like if a guy has good leverage and doesn't give it up, like you're just screwed. Like, I mean, because you can't go too far inside because now the route's like condensed and squished and you can run to other people. So at a certain point too, though, you got to be decisive and be like, all right, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to go outside and hopefully give him a stick. And you just got to get creative. I mean, but, this is good, though. Like, this happens in a game where you couldn't win and you can scramble and come back out. Maybe it was designed that way. I don't think so. But, good rep by Jalen Smith and good finish by Jaden Higgins. Here is Stingley versus Nico from DJ Bieneme. He said Stingley won the first one by punching the ball out last second. And this is just a simple slant route. 1, 2, 3. And, So that's just kind of the opposite. Like Stingley probably had outside leverage and worked out good for Nico there. And Jalen Petrie has been back practicing. So August 16th now. So we're on Sunday. DJ Bieneme, CJ Stroud connected with the fan favorite Lewis Bond for a 50-yard touchdown during 7-on-7 as a post route. We can watch the clip here in a second. And then John Emmett Alexander. Bond could have had another one against the second team defense this time, but Mills, who still completed the pass, didn't see the busted coverage. Jonathan's notes from team on Sunday. Series 1, Montgomery run for 2 yards. Stroud scramble for 4. Woody Marks run for 4. Series 2, David Montgomery 11-yard run. There we go. Explosive run, boys. CJ Stroud pass to Woody Marks 7 yards. Nice. Woody Marks run for 3 yards. Yeah. And then there's news too from Joe Busaglia that Connor McGovern, the starting center for the Bills, who the Texans play week 1, he's still looking like a multi-week injury. So he said the goal is to be ready by the regular season. So worst case, he comes back fresh with no reps, or he potentially could miss the game. So that's a big deal against the Texans D-line week 1 at NRG. And then DJ said Kamari Lassiter is having a textbook day where you think all pro is possible for him. Amount of plays he made in the ball are noteworthy, from the last second punch outs to run stuffs. I pointed out, obviously, he's a great physical tackler, is something that's overlooked by him and underrated as a corner, but also he's a cornerback who is as good as he is because of his mentality to finish through the whistle, which a lot of DBs just give up. And plenty of times where he's beat, but he recovers. Get some comments before we go back to some rundown stuff. H-Town Fanatic, I have an extra ticket to camp tomorrow. Help me share. I tweeted a moment ago, find someone on there and give it to him. Appreciate you looking out. Brandon, damn, Colt signed him. Harbaugh's such a tool. Dino, realistically, do you think Woody Marks is going to have a step backwards this season? You know what, too? Like, maybe there was interest from the Texans. Who knows? But, like, that is kind of pricey, 8.5. I was thinking like 5 or 6 maybe for Keenan, which at the end of the day, whatever. But maybe that's part of it. Like, I was thinking about it. It's like, I wonder what he wants. Like, is he someone that's going to try and win a championship? Would he take a reduced role to win a championship, or is he looking for the most money? And this tells me he's looking for the most money. Space Age, there's no way Bond doesn't make this roster. His familiarity with the system alone is a plus. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking like it. Isaiah Myers, a no look from CJ. Yep, that looked like a no look. He's really good at those. Forrest McWhorter, keep it up, brother. You are our info from us out of town folks. Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate it. Great seeing you a couple weeks ago. Still tipping. Is CJ rocking a new helmet? Also, Allen got signed by the Colts. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting that a lot. Yeah, I forget like the terminology or the brand, but yes, it's a new helmet. Forrest, iron sharpens iron. Has been too repetitive, but it's exactly that. Yep, that's true. Any news on Noel? D'Amico made it sound like he'll be ready soon, but we'll see. I mean, the hamstring came up. I found it on a clip on Sirius XM NFL radio. No one really knew about it. I thought it was just a hand or a finger, so we'll see. A-Leaf, it's the Bills, bro. We're going to win regardless. Facts. Space Age, we don't need them. Still tipping. Forrest, I watched DJ Moore call for the DB hit last week. I hope he brings that energy week 1. Texans will light him up. Yeah, he called for the DB to hit him, and the DB trucked him. And then he got hurt, a handful of plays later. But yeah, try that against Kamari. We'll see what happens. I didn't say I wanted him. I just know he wanted him. Let me go to TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. The best way to get comments is on YouTube. Bruno, do you think Nico's best year is behind him? I hope not. No, I mean, he should be unlocked this year if Jaden Higgins emerges and gets more one-on-ones. Cole Pop saying the O-line can change from the game. Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot. I don't know if they're just being ambiguous to not, obviously Trent Brown, but I mean, they got guys that can play all over. Braden Smith can play left guard. Wyatt can play right guard. Like, what if Ed Ingram's struggling? He didn't play great in the preseason game, but like, that's a possibility. Trent Brown, right tackle. Wyatt Teller, right guard. Braden Smith, left guard. Braden Smith is a good run blocker, but didn't do great pass blocking at right tackle. Keelan, center. Left tackle Ursery. Like, I mean, Blake Fisher looked pretty good too. Blake Fisher looked good, man. We've all kind of given him, criticism over the years, and I've floated like the idea of like him potentially being traded, but that would have to be a stout deal. And a lot of people counter back with good sound logic. Like he's still very young. Like he's a very young developmental tackle. And he's better at left tackle than he is right tackle. And he played good in that Chargers game late last year. And he seems to be developing and having a decent camp. So, yeah, so there could be all kind of stuff. Fabechi Wiwu played pretty solid too, and he can play pretty much any spot. But in the NFL, any of the interior spots. Grafa, blessings. You can share your earliest memory that inspired you to become a fan of the Texans. Being born would be the answer. I mean, I've always loved football. I think third or fourth grade was when the Titans either moved or whenever they became like the Tennessee Titans. So I went to like an Oilers game when I was like very young, and I don't really remember. But like third or fourth grade, like my first vivid memory of like the Titans logo, and it was like sick, and they were a Houston team, so I liked them. But yeah, I mean, since day one, once I got the Texans, I was like, yes, I love football. There's a team in Houston, like let's go. G-Man, you think Brewing Jordan makes the final? Brevin Jordan right now doesn't look that way. I mean, they just signed another tight end with Brevin's health. He's not practicing, so I mean. It's some kind of like speed REO flex. I don't even know. CJ Stroud's helmet, the new one, someone asked. Brandon, heard some Bills fans say they would win because unlike the Texans, the Bills can actually hang 30 on people. So we need to beat the Bills 30-17. They can't hang 30 on us. That dude, you think Brevin Jordan? No, I don't. I mean, doesn't look like it right now. Blake Elliott have an extra camp. He says that he has an extra camp ticket I can provide you to share. Okay. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, Texans commenter. I can accept it and send it to somebody. A-Leaf, hopefully Brevin makes a roster. He's so good, bro. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. He needs to get healthy. Forrest, if CJ brings his winning mentality with the O-line, the Texans will prove their respects. All right, so back to the timeline. And then Big Sarge says, tip pass by Williamson Jr. And while the ball is in the air, all you see is 12 jumping out to go and get it. So tipped, and Nico went and caught it. This is back on Sunday. Aaron Wilson, Stroud, rollout pass, deep incomplete to Jaden Higgins, all pro corner safety, sticky coverage. Daniil had to run stuff. And let's see, we'll keep going through all the. Here's the. This play was a pass to Jared Wayne. It's hard to tell with the angles. Like maybe the ball was out in front of him. Maybe he can still catch it. But what I noticed watching this view is, Xavier Hutchinson's being asked to block County one-on-one, and he gets like thrown away with ease, but then Keelan Rutledge is there to pick it up. So just speculating, like maybe it doesn't look like a chip, but I mean, regardless, like I understand that, receivers have to, block Dean sometimes and hopefully have help and it can set up other stuff, but it just shows Clowney like swats him off like nothing. But then Keelan, I have a hunch that he just went and found more work from like what I've watched on film and practice. Like if he doesn't have anybody, rather than just stand there and be like, okay, my job's done, he goes and finds work. So that could have been the case here. So that's good to see. But it does look like Blake Fisher might have gotten beat and his rusher may have led up there. You don't know, so you don't want to overanalyze, but it looks like interior defense. I don't know who that was, but you see the ball go to, it kind of catches the back end of the ball here. So you can see like, right there, you see how his hands are on the front. If the ball is like this is tough to do, and you catch the front end of the ball as opposed to the back end, now half the ball's hanging out, so now you can hit it out easy. Boom. That's exactly what Kamari does. Kamari's best of the league in finishing, caught the back end of the ball. So yeah, I don't know if you can really, take too much away and blame anybody on that. We'll get some clips from our various reporters. DJ BNMA, here's a clip from Jerry Shaplinsky on CJ Stroud's pocket movement.
I don't know that I would say growth because I think he's always done well, but he has continued to do an excellent job moving in the pocket, adjusting around, stepping up in the pocket, but also keeping his eyes downfield and making the throws as opposed to just always scrambling. We always tell him, hey, if you can step up, keep your eyes downfield.
The audio is kind of low, but it sounds like he says he's doing a good job, and we tell him, keep your eyes downfield while you step up. Here is Cole Popovich via Aaron Wilson, and this is him on Keelan Rutledge.
Cole, what do you see from Keelan Rutledge so far, his first start, and how he's done with the first string center for you?
he's been doing great. I think he's, what we thought we were going to get. Really tough, really smart, plays really hard. I think he's fitting in with the room really, really well, and just the team as a whole. And really encouraged by what he's done so far.
Your overall take on the work of the guys, which was first team against the guys the other night, the first team?
Yeah, it was good to get all those guys out there together and repping. I don't know if that's necessarily the first team. It was the team that we put out there first within that preseason game. Thought they did a nice job communicating. They threw a lot of pressures at us. If you watch that game back.
So that was what we just talked about, like the O-line, not necessarily the first team, which who knows. But then this point here, he talks about the Chargers defense throwing pressures at him.
That we put out there first within that preseason game. Thought they did a nice job communicating. They threw a lot of pressures at us. If you watch that game back, it seemed like they were damn near 70% pressure. And so that was great for us, just to see all that throughout the whole game. And I thought everybody really handled it really well.
Yeah, and that was another thing too, is now you have these backups in with Mills, and they're getting pressure looks, and they're not used to it. You saw it with the Owen Wright play. Shout out Cody, you got a T. Let's go, Cody, Mr. Optimistic. But yeah, so O-line could be different. Who knows? The Chargers were playing to win the game, dude. So here's a more long-form video via Aaron Wilson from Jerry Shaplinski. Here's him on CJ Stroud.
All those guys really worked hard. He's kind of in a great camp. All those guys really worked hard. He's kind of led the way and set the tone for us. All the goals that we had from the spring, I feel like we accomplished from a pre-snap standpoint. And now it's just going and executing post-snap wise, and he's done a great job of that. He's in good shape. He looks good physically. He's just kind of leading the charge in there, in the huddle, at the line of scrimmage, mixing up cadences and executing. Proud of him the way he's performing.
Trent mentioned that it felt like last year stuff wasn't getting out of the huddle in a timely manner. It felt like this year they're breaking the huddle in a good amount of time. What kind of has CJ done to make sure they've had more time to line of scrimmage?
I don't know that I wouldn't say it's probably he's put in more time. It's just probably, I would say, year two, and everything sounds a lot more familiar. He probably took it upon himself this year in the offseason to make sure he's good on all the verbiage, all the calls, and he can kind of anticipate the calls as they're coming in. He's stressed with all those guys to just read the call sheet, keep reading the call sheet, understand, being able to finish the plays that's coming in, and I would say that's probably the biggest thing is we're getting it in quicker, we're getting it called quicker, and we're up to the line with a lot of time to do it.
It feels like he's executing really well when you guys face a tough defense every day. But when there's pressure, messy pockets, have you kind of seen that growth and improvement there?
I don't know that I would say growth, because I think he's always done well, but he has continued to do an excellent job moving in the pocket, adjusting around, stepping up in the pocket, but also keeping his eyes downfield and making the throws as opposed to just always scrambling. You always tell him, hey, if you could step up, keep your eyes downfield because you got a shot to make a play.
So it sounds like they're making an emphasis on that, he may have a propensity to want to just flush the pocket as opposed to step up and throw from within the pocket. And that's probably because of the bad interior protection over the years. And naturally, eventually, you just stop trusting the interior. So that's good to see.
The younger quarterback learning the system, is there a lot more to the pass protection than you guys have handled before, perhaps in a lot of systems?
I don't know that there's a lot more per se. There might just be something that's a little bit different than they've done. So if you want to say that it's a little bit of a new learning, maybe that's part of it. But I do feel like once you kind of go and get the hang of it, then it's been old hat a little bit. Now we've got a new quarterback that just came in, so kind of going through that process with him. But I feel like CJ and Davis are really comfortable in it right now.
So he kind of downplays the whole protection part of it, which maybe it is. I mean, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, let's get some comments here. Shout out Harry, my guy Harry. Let's see. What's up? How you doing? Doing good, bro. Thanks for tapping in. Brandon, would be a fantastic time for Allen to come out very, very washed. And I don't think he's electric. I think he's good. I mean, he's good in his role. He's a good security blanket. He's a good slot receiver. He's savvy. But yeah, hopefully now, I was wanting him to be on our team and root for him, and now I'm rooting against him. So Brandon, that last hitter punch out in the Chiefs game was still crazy. Yep. What's up, Senor Buble? Lessons with Stressins. I like that. That's a good one. Lessons with Stressins. This is my lecture hour. Big S the plug. What are the chances Bond is more productive than Noel this year? I don't know. We're starting to think that way, right? I mean, who knows? I mean, they seemingly, and I don't know if like D'Amico's just frustrated or like I'm just looking into too much into it, but like based off of last year, how they didn't play him and like couple the sound bites this year, like he doesn't sound too enthused about him. Like maybe he's just like challenging him to step up. I don't know. But it sounds more plausible than what it has been. But hopefully, I don't know. I really don't know what to say on that. Hopefully, at least one of them or both of them collectively are productive enough to where it's a good thing. Brandon's still crazy, better hands, and Jalen Reed and Kamari Ramsey might have come out with that game with 3 INTs combined. Yep, that's true. Grafa, based off your observation, how do you see going to practice unit squad in the wide receiver room? Blessings. So you got Nico, you got Higgins 1 and 2. Hutch is probably your number 3 right now, and then so Tank. I mean, you got Tank and Noel who could be IR, but let's just say they're both in there, so that's 5. And then you got Lewis Bond, Justin Watson, and Jared Wayne going for the last spot. And I would probably give it to Lewis Bond. And then if he kept 7, maybe Jared Wayne or Justin Watson. That's tough. I mean, yeah. So I would probably say those 6, and then maybe Jared Wayne can be retained for the practice squad. Senior Buble, MVP, season loading for CJ. Yep. Yes, sir. He says CJ has displayed the IQ, skills, and the nuts. Jerry seems to match CJ's calm. Yeah, good point. He does get like everyone's different. Like he does get knocked for his calm quite a bit. I saw this play on All 22. I thought it was Bush League by Trevor Penning. Some people are saying like it's not, which I understand. Like it's not like super egregious, but it's way away from the play. But the play is still live, so I get that. But basically Woodaz right here is like turns his back to him, and he kind of like I see it as like him punching the back of his head. He punches the back of his head. Like what are we doing here? That's dirty, right? Like he's already away from you, and you're behind him, and you push down, punch on the back of his head. That like right? Is that not what y'all see? Like, am I tripping? Like, I don't know. Can y'all see that on the deal? Anyways, he's a known dirty player, so that's the kind of stuff we don't want to see from Keelan Rutledge, which I don't think we will. Man, so there's a 7-minute interview there with Ariante Ursary from Aaron Wilson. Just trying to recall off the top of my head. I think nothing crazy there, but let's see. Then I'll go back to my timeline after this. This is all repost. And here was Landry asking Cole Popovich about the love of the scheme.
Said that he loves this system. He came up in it. And he thinks it's the way that football should be played. From your point of view, like what is it about this system that makes it that his POV? And I'm assuming you probably feel somewhat the same way.
I think it's probably because he came up in the system, and so did I, so we have a bias towards that, right? Like that's like everybody. Like I'm not sure if like a system really makes everything. It's kind of everybody buying into what system you're running, and the teams that get all that buy-in and the players believe in it and the coaches believe in it, I think those are the ones that do well, offense, defense, special teams. So I think it's more that this is what we both grew up with in the NFL, and so we feel like this is what we're most comfortable with, I would say.
Good, honest answer. But yeah, Trent's got effusive praise for the system. He's talked about it multiple times. And then, yeah, Popovich, Will Kunkel posted a video. He says they got to – let's just play it here. Let's see here. Will Kunkel on X.
New concepts really quickly and is able to apply them. And then on top of that, with the center position, that thing we were talking about, not being afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes you walk up in there at center and –
but yeah, you talk about Keelan Rutledge not being afraid to make mistakes and, be confident in your decision on like a protection call and then just run with it. And if you're wrong, deal with it after rather than having indecision. And Here is Cole Popovich via Landry Locker on Twitter about Trent Brown getting left
Are you
tackle
liking
reps.
what you see from Trent on the left side as well as the right side? It seems like he's getting a little left LT.
Again, the last time I was with Trent, right, was 2018, and we won a Super Bowl with him as our left tackle, so he can do that. And we're just seeing kind of some different matchups there. It's a great challenge for all of our tackles here every day. I really don't care what group you're working with. Got a really deep D line that's coached very well, and they play really hard, and so everybody's getting really good work in there.
Are you like?
Yep. All right. So now I can go back to my post, and let's go to Brandon says, so did one preseason game earn Kroger the job? I have a hunch and a suspicion that I feel like he's been the guy the whole time, and I feel like a lot of us are like, oh, this guy sucks, like whatever, and then they sign Stonehouse, and it is a competition, but you obviously just don't want to hand him the job, but he won it pretty quickly. But my hunch is like they sought this guy out. Like for me, for how things went down, like for it to make sense for me, for them to not re-sign Tommy for that cheap amount, and supposedly him being willing to come back would be is they sought this guy out and said, if we can get this guy, we'll gamble on that. And it seems to be like what their plan is, and one good game. So far, so good. I don't know how much that can change in a outdoor game or other games, but so far, so good. But I have a hunch that they've been seeing this as the vision the whole time. Hard to tell for anybody, but who knows? Graffa Cole Pop looks like the Viking from medieval times. Dude, that beard is gnarly. I love it. Space Age, the only thing that worries me this season is Mr. Caley himself. That's fair, but I think Caley's been given a bad shake. I'm very optimistic about Caley this year. Senior Buble, did anyone view Trent not playing last week as a starter not getting rest? I don't. I see that as a bigger guy who's a proven vet who we know what we got, and you want to keep him fresh is the way I saw it. So get back to the timeline, get some more tidbits for you guys. Probably about 10, 15 more minutes, but feel free to fire away with any questions. Let's see. Look at that. See all that freaking all 22 I got? Okay, there's we were. No, we didn't finish there. And there's so much stuff. Let's see. Where are some good interviews for you guys to listen to? Okay. All right, we're getting there. I think I already talked about that. Did we talk about this from Jonathan Stroud to Higgins for 7 yards on Series 3 on Sunday, to Nico for 7, Montgomery to 2, Stroud and Nico incomplete by Lassiter, screen pass to Hutch for 2, Montgomery 4-yard run, and then a pass defended by Kamari on Wayne. We saw that, and then Stroud 11-yard scramble. And let's see. Here was a clip posted by the Texan Instagram from one-on-ones. Here is Azeez Alshire locking up Woody Marks on an out and up. Patient stays with it, gets in his hip pocket, turns his head, and finds the ball. Textbook. Not the cleanest catch, but he got it. And then on the flip side, David Montgomery, the one-on-one rep against Casey Osai, who is, just signed recently when the injuries happened. Had a rough game against the Chargers, but Montgomery is running an out route here, but he kind of gives him it's some good little sauce on this route here. I'll play it and then let it go. But first he comes off with like a hesitation and then like a burst, like he's going on a go, throws his hand up like he's going on a go, and then breaks it down and comes back flat downhill on the out. He's a legit route runner, bro. That's like slot receiver stuff. And you know what? I'm tripping, dude. I just had a massive revelation. We've all been freaking out about slot receiver, at least me, like as far as like savvy underneath, quick, tough contested catch guy. What if Woody Marks fills that role? Like he's been doing it. Like what if we look at Woody Marks as half running back, half slot receiver? What if that's the play? I just had a revelation. That should be. Like, and you're going to get mismatches. And he's quick. He's twitchy. He's got pretty strong hands. He caught 80-plus passes in one season at Mississippi State. Woody Marks can fill some of the void at slot receiver to fill that need that we need of, that underneath guy. Like Hutch is a big slot and he's gotten quicker, but he's still a bigger body and doesn't really have as much separation. So Woody Marks, damn, why haven't I just I've known this, but I haven't thought about it like that. So, yeah, cool thought there. Senor Bubba, every coach sounds like a football junkie without the Van Gundy face. That's true. I mean, but I'm not basing it off of that. I'm kind of basing off of what I saw, but coupled with that and his background and people talking about him. But here was Nick Caserio on XM Radio when asked about rookies outside of Rutledge that have stood out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've all kind of, I'd say, taken advantage of their opportunities here as we've gotten further into camp. I think Woodaz and Klein are two players that the more they're out there, the more they play, you see some qualities that you like and that you think are probably going to help your team in some capacity. Ramsey, we've kind of moved him around a little bit. Safety, he's taking some nickel reps, trying to create some versatility there. So all the young players have had a really good attitude. They've had a good approach. And we're not opposed to playing young players. If they're the best players, if they're the best people to keep around in the program, then those are the players that we're going to keep.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Woodaz and Klein and best players will play. Here was D'Amico last week with Greg Bailey on ABC 13, and he asked, what's the most improved thing on the offense?
I think the biggest
on the team
I've seen is just our running game has improved with the intensity up front, our guys blocking and sustaining their blocks downfield. That's where I've seen a jump. Our defense, they're picking up right where they left off. They're being relentless. They're attacking the football, playing our style. And I've also seen from our offense, seeing CJ just have much better command, control, confidence of the offense. So I'm excited to see him get started week one and see how that comes to fruition.
How can a first
good to hear on the running game? Obviously, defense picking up our left off, and then Stroud. He's confident about Stroud. But yeah, so my interview today with Mark Vandermeer, he kind of echoed a lot of points that I was suspecting or thinking. I know a lot of us had concerns about the run game in practice, but then it sounds like the last day or two it got better. But he's like, the thing about the practice is those officials blow it dead as soon as they get touched. So it's like, a 3-yard run could be a 5-yard run, which that's a huge difference. So that was something I was saying, you're not wrapping up, so you don't really know the full yardage. And I believe he made some other good points that'll maybe come to mind here in a minute. I need to clip it and post it, but let's see. Jalen Knoll. Yep. So that's Ben McDaniels, but nothing new there. Scrolling back through, I saw that. Billy Davis, linebacker coach, he talked about how these guys need reps. He basically doesn't like the preseason structure, which I agree. It's like these young guys need more chances to prove themselves, and basically the starters are playing a long season. They know what they got. So I like Billy Davis, linebackers coach. And let's see, we kind of watched those, scrolling through, get a couple more up here towards the top. Let's see. Look at that, dude. I'm a psycho and basically parsing out the entire game. Von Miller went to the Cowboys on a 1-year, $5.5 million deal with a maximum value of $7.5 million, which is basically the exact same deal as Jadeveon Clowney. So Clowney said that he reached out to the Cowboys. They didn't want to re-sign him, at least yet, so they kind of pushed him off. And we got him for the same. I think both guys are good, but Vaughn is 3 or 4 years older. I believe he had 10 sacks last year, but wasn't as productive overall. Clowney had 9.5, I believe, but obviously, graded in PFF better, which grain of salt there, but much better run defender. I preferred Clowney over Von Miller. So that's interesting. We'll play them. We'll see, battle of the vet edge rushers there. And then this was last week on 95.7 The Fan, J.J. Watt on Jadeveon Clowney to Sean Pendergast.
Yeah, I think JD's a freak athlete, obviously, as we all know, as everybody knows. And he came in and he had that raw athleticism and that freakiness. And, this league is hard, especially when you're the number one overall pick and you have that pressure and everybody's looking at you as all right, let's see it. Show us it. That's not easy to handle. And then you're also dealing with all the money and everything that comes along with it. And there is a lot going on that is tough for a young man to handle. Yeah, he did a lot of great stuff, but I do think that it was cool to watch his press conference. Seth sent me his clips from the press conference the other day, and to show me some of the stuff how he's talked about. And I think there's no question that he's matured and grown over the years, and that's been a fun transition to watch for me because it's been really it's special. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this defense. Doesn't have all the pressure on him because he gets to play in this unbelievable defense and benefit from everything that comes with it. So you add him into a pass rush situation where you have Daniil and Will on the edges, you have the guys on the back end locking people down, and then JD can go somewhere in the middle and like roam around and just destroy guards with his lateral movement or even direct power.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just adding one more weapon to an already loaded arsenal.
That's a great point. Giving him the free roam over the middle of the interior, which Clowney is like a very smart and instinctual player. Like, he knows like kind of how to shift last second and can kind of anticipate where the play is going and shoot a gap. In this photo, it's an old school photo that I put on there with the clip. JJ Watt kind of looks like Wes Welker there with the backwards NFL cap on to me. But yeah, so shout out JC says, what's going on, Garrett? Appreciate everything you do, giving Texans fans quality news, man. Of course, man. Appreciate you tapping in. And he said Clowney played 4 less games and had half less sacks. Yep, he's definitely the better player, I think, in my opinion. Larry Payton, in my opinion, teams has lots of slot options and 12 to 13 personnel. That's a good point. So, like, you know, and a lot of it too is like they may not value that little, you know, underneath slot guy, which even then, like, if it is like a minimal part of the offense, that would be Lewis Bond. But they value these big body guys and they value guys that can get in there and block. So it's just maybe the offense isn't quite what I'm thinking that they should have with it. And he says Woody is ideally a third down back. Yeah, I mean, and I guess I like overstated. Like, I'm not saying like make him a slot receiver, but like he can make up for, you know, if you need to complement Hutch as the primary slot with Knoll, and then even if Knoll, I don't know. And you're right too. Like Tank could be a slot, which he played slot in college, but he played outside. I don't know. And the health is the big thing. Shout out Chevy Hill. That's my doppelganger, supposedly. Or not doppelganger, but I guess online doppelganger. He says, I think the wide receiver room will be fine. X, Nico, and Higgins can all play the big slot role. And you have veteran bodies with Justin Watson and Jared Wayne. Bond can play the more traditional small slot role. Yeah, it would just come down to health. It would come down to health from Tank and I guess you're talking about, not even talking about Knoll, but yeah, I mean, I think they should be fine. They got a lot of, you know, and again, like I just said, those kind of, you know, the big slots, they like big slots and they cannot lie. They kind of fit what they like. Like, it may not be in my mind or other people's mind, like what you think of traditionally. But it seems to have worked so far. Like, maybe you just run different kind of route trees. But you know, I guess between Knoll, like hypothetically, like just to say between Knoll, potentially Dell, potentially Woody Marks, and Lewis Bond, those are 4 guys that can give you some of that variety if needed, as far as the short option routes type stuff is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I don't feel terrible about it. I mean, again, I've wanted Keenan Allen, and like I started out in the very beginning, like got to get him, and then kind of like slowly, like as the roster changed, okay, like now it's like if Bond's the guy, you don't need him. I've always said like, and it kind of ticked back up in recent days with like the injury to Knoll, which raised concerns, which maybe is not a big deal, but I thought that wasn't like necessary, but it would be a solid move, and it would have to be the right situation where he comes in as a vet, you know, with a situational role. Anyways, water under the bridge. I agree. Wide receiver room is still pretty deep. Dime Keenan Allen to the Colts. RIP. Yep. Senor Buble, they are hiding personnel and sets for a reason. Yeah, I mean, I think Woody Marks is going to be using the pass game heavily. So here was, speaking of Tank Dell, here was D'Amico on SiriusXM again, forthcoming with information about Tank Dell.
Great stories, and I'm a voter for Comeback Player of the Year. It's going to be hard to beat.
Already started, baby. Comeback Player of the Year. Yeah, it's my vote too. We've taken our time to kind of ramp him up.
So, I mean, I know it's like joking and like out of excitement, but like it must tell you like he feels pretty good about him.
Slowly. So the first week, he was just on the side, still working just some individual stuff with his position coach at the practice. And now this past week, he got into routes on air. He got into group install, and yesterday, for the first time, he was able to get into team drills. And I was able to highlight him in a team meeting. It just brought a huge smile to my face because he was in his first rep. He ran an outstanding slant route, beat the corner, got the ball inside. So it's beautiful to watch, and it's just a great moment for a kid who went through such a devastating injury, and now to see him rebound, to know how much time and work that he's put in. Like, man, I'm proud of him, and we'll keep giving him a little bit more every day.
What's going on? Pat Runs Katie on TikTok. Is that I assume Pat Runs Katie is my guy, Pat Talks Texans, right? What's going on, man? And then Keenan Allen. Yeah, everyone's
Planning for him to hopefully get out there preseason, in one of these preseason games coming up, and then be ready to go for the season.
And then today, D'Amico talked about Elijah Huzzy. This was unprompted. Audio is kind of low, but he talked about Huzzy playing the nickel, which to me is a cover nickel, but he got beat on a route a couple times, and then today did better technique, little tighter. He was right there and made the play for interception. So, and then here's D'Amico. He was talking about D'Amico. I guess the audio is gonna be low in this too. I think the audio on the stream today was low, but he talked about, they were talking about defensive backs and their ball skills, whether it's like natural or you can teach it. And he's basically saying, like, if guys make interceptions in college, I expect them to make it in the NFL. If they don't make it in college, then I don't really get mad at them for not, making them in the NFL. And then he talked about whether it's just like innate. And he just talked about the play with Derek Stingley picking off the crosser with one hand on Trevor Lawrence. He said it's one of the best plays I've ever seen. So that's a pretty high endorsement there. Here is Reed Blankenship on Jalen Petrie.
I like to be up close, and
it's kind of low. Let me know if it's too low. I'm gonna let it play.
Close to the trenches, I like to be physical, and I know JP. Watching JP, I feel like I am a bigger person than JP is. No, I was joking. But just the way he plays like he's way bigger than he is, and it's just crazy. It's actually fun watching him on tape because he's flying around like he's a student, truly a student of the game. I watch him every day, just past games, just watching film, and man, this guy is truly passionate about what he does. But I try to be like JP. I try to be up and be as physical as possible. So.
Yeah, so he's definitely, in admiration of Petrie's game, which is exactly it. Like, he's basically a linebacker. He plays way above his size, which is insane. And then Space Age, I hope Tank makes the doubters eat crow for. I mean, I'm trying to temper like my expectation, like not temp. Yeah, I'm getting irrationally excited about him out there. Larry or maybe Kaylee will run Ramzo more this year. They didn't use traditional slot much. Yeah, I think that's what they like. I mean, you think about Puka. Puka's like, a bigger receiver as like a slot. I guess they had Tutu Atwell, which mattered in the year before. But I think they kind of, I think that's what they want to do. They want to run smash mouth. They want to run those insert motions where you get a big receiver inside, like, offset and get in there and block and then get in there and run a route. So, yeah, Space Age, the best route runner on the squad. And then Chevy Hill, I love Huzzy's tape in college. Was excited when he got some action this preseason. Yeah, dude. I mean, he came back from his injury, had some good flashes late last year, and he looked good. Like, he looks like he's just twitchy, like explosive, and he's smaller than what you would think, but he plays kind of big. I don't think he's like a Petrie. I think he's like a true cover nickel and a backup cover corner is how I see him. But he still has like that swarm aggressiveness as a DB that the Texans like. BG, Texans need better this volume and during pressers. Yeah, dude. They got to figure out, there's got to be a way to like have some kind of soundboard. Everyone gets a mic and you have like a controller, and like it would probably be better too if they just like went in order just for like the flow of things, like boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Yeah, it would be nice. V Loan, I'll be at training camp tomorrow. What time are you showing up? I like to stroll in late, I'll probably maybe a little earlier tomorrow. I'll probably get there around 8:30. I've been showing up like 9 lately, and then I'm lazy. Well, I have to get my girls to school too. Space age, natural playmaker. All right, we're almost done, and then we'll go to Harris Hits to finish it off. But Hutch had a great presser today. Here's an answer on him about like his off season.
Like after the season last year, I had to like kind of look myself in the mirror a little bit. I didn't finish the way that I wanted to finish. That's no surprise to anybody in here. So really, just like I had to have those tough conversations with myself, especially with Ben McDaniels, our receiver coach, and just like really what I needed to get better at. And I feel like as a receiver, just like I needed to get more suddenness, and I needed to get more control of my body. That's something that I worked on in the off season, and then I think with the connection with CJ was really just organic. I ended up being in LA in the off season training. It's no surprise that he was in the OC training as well. So whenever we had time to link up and throw, I was there. And I kind of made it a priority to myself to just be around a little bit more, show face a little bit more, and I feel like it's really helped me during training camp and just seeing what he sees and being on the same page with him. Obviously, we lost the game, so that's like.
So then Landry had a follow-up question of like, what was it exactly that you said we know where I fell short? So it was good. Like I agree, like what he said. Like I need to work on my like suddenness, which he's an ex-receiver body, so he's naturally going to be more tight-hipped and more linear. So he mentioned that's what he needed to work on, as well as body control. He did kind of get out of control a little bit, and it looks like he's improved on both. So like his awareness and his work ethic is insane. And then he mentioned that he was asked about Stroud and chemistry. He said, I made an effort to catch with him all the time, and that's paying off. And then here he is expanding on where he felt he needed to improve, or he let the team down, or whatever it was last year. It's the Patriots game.
A shortcoming, but that's for like the team. Obviously, for me, I was a part of the problem on the turnovers. Like CJ trusted me, throwing me the ball, I dropped it. It's football, that's gonna happen. But like
that's great to see too, like ownership, but also like you're getting your quarterbacks back in a certain way by taking that ownership.
I need to be perfect. Like we need to be better in those big time moments when it matters the most. So that's what I meant by like kind of like my shortcomings on the field. But those moments don't define me. What's life without a little setback? You know what I'm saying? It makes it when you get back even again and you exceed what you thought you couldn't do, it makes it a little bit sweeter.
All right. Let's see here. Getting back up. There's a mic'd up on the Texans YouTube. Check it out. A couple clips from David Montgomery. He doesn't talk a lot, but here's a clip of him and CJ Stroud interacting on the sideline.
Hey, let's get a great play fake on this first one.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
I'm having fun.
Hey, I love that, bro. I love that. Hey, let's get a great play fake.
But yeah, he said he's having fun. So looks like he's in control. Texans released a depth chart initially, and it looks like they omitted right tackle by mistake. But it's basically the same. Again, it's not really to be taken serious. Here was another one too, where he kind of surprised by Henry T on a blitz pickup.
Dang.
Here's Buddy again.
Dang. He big as hell.
Tommy? He twists.
Tommy Jack.
Yeah, he twists.
I don't know if they were mistaken. They said, "Oh, Tommy, he's twisted." Is that what he said? But yeah, Henry T underrated, man. Physical player. Here's Reed Blankenship on the physicality of corners. We talked about D'Amico the other day, highlighted with Jalen Smith. And here's him talking about Kamari.
And obviously you think of a corner, all they're just there to cover. No, they're not. If you have corners that can hit, Sting, I seen K3 just, come up and feel a run. It's crazy to see him to do that. But it makes you, as a safety, feel great. Like, you don't have to sometimes be as fast in the run fit. Like, you don't have to – they're not counting on you as a run defender to be up there close to action at times. Especially you have, I say Kamari again. If he's down low on the line of scrimmage, and there's a run to him, he's going to get the job done for sure.
All right. Yep. So Macari got hurt. Patrick Macari on the Jaguars. This was good to see a national analyst, Warren Sharp, saying what I've been saying all offseason about CJ Stroud. I'll let this run real quick.
Yeah, I look at the Houston Texans and specifically CJ Stroud. When you look at these tiers and these rankings and these votes from different coaches and things of that nature, CJ Stroud is very close to Bryce Young at this point in a lot of people's minds. And I
don't play the whole thing, but he basically says the whole stuff like we were saying, run game. But he also mentions like the new scheme. You went from, zone to gap, so it takes time. He mentions the wide receiver corps being a top 5 most injured, tight end corps, and running back corps. All three of those together is top 5 most injured. So check him out. Sharp Football. He has a good analysis there. Here is Reed Blankenship on Kamari Ramsey and Jalen Reed.
Yeah, K-Ram, Jay Reed, they're fantastic guys and great athletes, especially K-Ram. He put on a show, his first preseason game, and you like to see rookies do that. And trying to get out of his shell a little bit. He's a little quiet, but he's doing a great job. He's starting to communicate a little bit more, and I feel like just being around him more and, like I said, getting him out of his shell lets him play with a little more confidence. And especially Jay Reed, obviously last year dealing with some injuries, but at the end of the day, he's a baller too. Preseason, I mean, he's coming downhill. He's hitting guys, and just trying to be a good vet to him. Trying to be there to answer any questions, and then if I have any questions, I'm going to ask Jay Reed about stuff and CB. But those two guys, they're doing really good and having some really great camps right now.
Good praise, and like he's a concerted effort as a veteran trying to help those guys out. But I guess I've gone longer than I thought I would, like I always did. It's an hour and 15. Kevin asked, does Dominique Robinson make the team? I think he does. Buble, boys trying to sell me. Baker Mayfield must be sucking dope. Facts. How much of the starters will you see? Probably like up to a half, maybe less. Kevin, you think we'll see Sockowitz this game? I don't know. And I don't know if I've heard this, but I had someone who like is very in tune with the Niners like asked about Hutch, and he's like, they're targeting him, but like I don't know now if it would make sense. We would. That's like if I don't know. That would be a midseason thing, maybe. But Chevy says Hutch has been that guy. I hope he takes a favorable deal to stick around. He's worked hard to get a better opportunity if he's presented himself elsewhere. It could be a thing too, like if Noel comes back and Tank comes back, and then now Hutch loses reps to those guys, and now he's on the last year of his deal, and a team wants him. Do you like trade him, kind of like we traded Cam Robinson, like to give him a chance to play elsewhere? So like maybe that could develop. It would depend on multiple factors, but hopefully not. In the meantime, I mean, not meantime, but currently, yeah, I can't hear the Texans podium clips. Could you hear them at all? They were so quiet. I kept playing them, but yeah, that's how the volume was on them. It's insane. But sorry if you're on the podcast and can't hear it. But we'll go to Harris Hits Saturday. Stingley dazzles. He says Stingley is that dude. Try to make this trivia question. After practice, I was reading for Noah Whittington. I said, oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I'm reading this for the first time with y'all, and I'm trying to parse through, not read it verbatim out of respect for John Harris. So visit the Texan site to read through it all. But he said it was a third down play in the second team period. Watson ran a post route from the right side, and quarterback Stroud launched one about as far as he could throw it. I could see Watson, but not seeing. And then all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, Sting flew into the picture and snatched the ball out of the air as if he were the receiver. Yeah, so my intuition was right. It was basically that patented pick where there's a post route and he's playing quarters, but playing like a trail technique and lets him beat him and then just catch. It was exactly like the patented Sting pick. And so first team period, a perfect pitch and catch and then a burst. So Stroud and Dalton Schultz hooked up for a wonderful pitch and catch. Great ball, great catch. And then Stroud to Woody Marks, hit the turbo button on a zone play. Okay, nice. I cut back to the guard center. Trio, burst for days. Pause. Next play, Sheldon Rankins, seen enough. And defenses, blitzers at Stroud would have been a sack. Clowney and Henry T live in the backfield. Next series, Mills handed the ball and then handed the ball to Clowney. Well, I mean, it felt that way. He did hand the ball to Noah, and Clowney won so quickly on the edge. That's crazy. Henry T didn't play on Thursday. Linebackers could have used him, he says. against the Chargers. He says he triggers so fast in the run game, deciphering so quickly. That's right. I mean, quick trigger is what you need in this defense in the 4-2-5 for D'Amico and good instincts. And so basically he highlights that at practice on Saturday. Stroud and Hutch connect twice in 3 plays. It's so talking about Hutch right here. He's been making plays. Stroud threw to a wide open Hutch on a deep over route, wide acre open. And then 2 plays later, Stroud, Nico Collins connection. This time Hutchinson sprinted up near sideline and struck one between the C and the B, the CB and the safety. So it looked like a hole shot, cover 2 maybe, potentially to Hutch. Next series, Stroud ripped one to wide receiver Jaden Higgins across the middle and needed a huge blitz pickup from Montgomery to do so. Great throw, easy catch, wonderful blitz pickup. So, I mean, seems like there was some good for the offense on Saturday. Defense answers and rookie finishes it. 3rd down, the next team period. Reed came up with his first pick of the day on a throw to Schultz. Defense didn't give Stroud much room to complete the pass. Blankenship. So that's good to see Reed make a play. Next play, Clowney was making his presence known. Beat the place. That was the one. That's a different one, but got a TFL. And then the day finished with the key 3rd and goal TD reception by wide receiver Daniel Sokowitz. Nice. Route near the back pylon of the end zone with Mills. Him and Mills got good connection. And so now we will this is the last, and I can be done and try to get some sleep. Harris hit CJ Stroud and the Texans offense with the best. So Mark Vandermeer told me this on our interview today that this was the best training camp practice. I think I interpreted him saying like I guess for this offense, but maybe any offense ever, not any offense ever, but like, let's just read it. He says the offense crushed it today, and which is my thumbnail leave, which I could have let off with this, but hey, I'm unorganized. The best offensive practice I can remember. I'm going to start with one overarching observation from the day. It's not a statement that I take lightly, and I know that some will push back, but just know that this was one of the best overall offensive practice that I can ever remember, if not the best I've ever seen. Like, whoa, what? I told y'all on Sunday when I saw the tweets, I started getting hype. I'm like, bro, like Nick Kelly's about to cook. Like this offense is gonna be for real. Boom, next day. I'm about to cry real tears right now. Are you kidding me? Let's go, dude. It's a qualitative assessment more than quantitative, but each level of the offense played at a high level throughout the practice. Deep strikes, blitz pickups, great catches, tremendous throws, O-line movement off the ball. It was all on display Sunday afternoon. So obviously I'm excited to see this tomorrow. One-on-ones, Will Anderson Jr. pulls a new trick out the bag. He says against Blake Fisher, he says everyone has their own go-to moves, but then Anderson threw a move at Fisher I hadn't seen from him, and halfway through the rep, he started laughing because he could tell Fisher and anyone else for that matter had never seen that. The AI is learning again. That's hilarious. It shouldn't go without saying how important Sheldon Rankins is a defense, slick pass rusher. So he had a good pass rush one-on-ones. Interior O-line anchors up. Evan Brown isn't going to lose a pushing contest, so when Cade McDonald attempts to power through him, so Brown beat Cade McDonald. Jake Andrews did the same thing against a bull rush just after Evans win. Didn't say against who. And then Tommy T and rookie, and then Rutledge, the what for with a quick burst power rush. So Togiai got the best of Rutledge. Ollie Gay had some really stellar moments. He had some flashes in the preseason game. I've always been a fan of Ollie Gay's game. And he had tremendous moments against the Chargers. Yeah, that's right. I saw that too. Okay. And he threw some power at the tackle on the far side to get inside track for a QB for a sack. Patterson continued solid training camp with his one-on-one rep against Naquan Jones. So that's good to hear. Patterson won inside hands and held up against Naquan's power up the field. Really good anchoring and strength from the fourth-year veteran, versatile O-lineman. Logan Hall and Dylan Horton are going to be problems. Logan Hall is going to be a problem for this O-line when he pops out the DN when needed. Too strong. During one-on-ones, he threw a move. He went right around the guard for the win. Didn't get a number on the guard. Dylan Horton continued to rise on the one-on-ones. He's night and day different than he was as a rookie. Plays hard. He had a couple of great battles with tackle Braden Smith. 7 straight completions in 7-on-7. On the first play, Stroud threw to Nico Collins inside route. But Kamari Lassiter was able to wrestle the ball away for a breakup, but the ball didn't hit the ground for the next 7 reps. So basically could have been 8. And so Stroud connected with Collins on a short catch and run. And then he saw Lewis Bond breaking away on the post route. That was the nice post route. Another C, it's what I wrote on the 7-on-7 as Stroud hit Hutch on the outbreaking route. And then Mills continued the 7-on-7 streak, hit Justin Watson. And then he hit Josh Kelly for the next 2. And then another one for Kelly. Or I guess the second one to Kelly he said was nice. And then Brett ripping it. He hit Foster Moreau. And okay, so I think he's talking collectively and like not just Stroud and and the ones as far as the offense, which is good. And then Rutledge takes the challenge. He talked about Henry T the day before. So on the first play of the team session, I couldn't help but notice Rutledge occupying Henry T on the inside run. I could hear in the O-line meeting room Saturday. Okay, A couple plays later, Noah made a nice run off the right side. And then 2 plays later, Davis Mills went down to Wayne and put the ball over the DB for a nice chunk play. Demo slalomed his way through the defense in the next play. That's a good adjective there. And then Demo took a handoff behind the puller, scored it through. Another good adjective. Then cut off the chaos into the open. Great block from Ed Ingram, and then use his vision the rest of the way. And he says, take a profit. Kamari was the best defensive player on the field. We kind of saw that. The play on Higgins. And so, so we are we'll move along, but yes, Kamari dominated. We saw that. Noah rips off the run of the camp. A few plays later in the series, Woodington has a good run on the interior as we've had all camp. He was patient finding his gap. And then when he saw it open, boom. Next play, Mills drilled a fastball to Stover. And then Mills and Sokowitz connect for the play of the day. Mills booted his right and saw Sokowitz on the run. A fastball in the end zone to Sokowitz with a toe tap. Yeah, they've had great chemistry. 2 plays later, Stroud threw a slant to Nico, but he got tipped, but then it was caught by Nico, so it's all L's that ends well. Bullock hears it, makes a play. Next play was interesting. Bullock moved forward closer to Foster Moreau. Yeah, so he's been down in the box more, moved up near the line of scrimmage, and then knocked away the pass intended for Moreau. So good instinctual play, sounds like. I would like to tell you what happened in the next play, but it's Soren Secrecy, just know it's a TD. The very next play was a run. Oh, this is the trick play. I think because Hunter was in the backfield so damn fast. He tackled the RB, might have been CJ. Damn, I don't even know. Oh, okay, that's a defensive play. But there was supposedly a trick play that happened over the weekend too. Huzzy's pick and Fairbairn. Mills took over with a great BPU, hit Stover. Next play, Huzzy, INT of the day, in fact, might have been the only one. Jumped out route brilliantly. So good stuff there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Get the last comments, and we'll do our parting ways. Bubble, congrats on the Vandy interview. Appreciate it. Yeah, Vandermeer's been dope. I've been friends with him. I think it's my 2nd or 3rd with him. He's been like a great friend. He's awesome, dude. Great interview. Check it out. Graffa, do you think the Brett Rippon gets work before season begins? Oh, yeah. He's going to play all of game 3 and probably a quarter at least in game 2, potentially. BG, bro, he's probably playing Thursday. Yeah. HT Traveler, what's going on, brother? Yep. Keenan to the Colts. Yep. I know. Fisher had a move put on him. No. James Roy, what's up, James? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, shout out the Bullpen Cast. I appreciate you tapping in. Y'all follow James Roy and the Bullpen. They do a great job. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna try and hit the hay. We'll see you, Graffa. I appreciate you. I can't wait to come back tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go before nighttime tomorrow, maybe late afternoon, like 2 or 3. And do like a live stream. I'll try and give you a heads up, recapping the day. Maybe I'll team up with. I talked with Nico, Elite Takes, and Jacob if they're there. Maybe if they're there, we can do a joint one. But But yeah, until next time, appreciate you guys. Subscribe on everything.